Well, I thought it was a great job by our pitching staff. Obviously, we, back-to-back shutouts and just threw a lot of strikes. Strike one, got ahead a lot today, and I thought Iredale made a couple nice plays at third, really helped us out. Uh, Fisher, he was throwing the ball. It's as good as he's thrown in a while, and obviously we'd love to have left him in there, longer, but we just feel like we might need him on the weekend, so we brought in Eves. We decided to go with the young guys, kind of there early, a couple of those guys, and Eves and Gibbler, and then get Bobby one inning, and I thought he did a nice job. Fouch one inning, and then McIntyre an inning. It worked out. So I thought we played solid defense for 2 days and just didn't give them anything. It wasn't like a big-time offensive day for us. Played a couple different guys and rested some guys, brought a couple guys off the bench to maybe defensively a little bit experience because the game was still tight. But it was a good 2-game series for us, and we didn't. I don't feel like we wore ourselves out, and now we get to go play in Florida, and playing in the warm weather the last couple of days here is going to, it's not Florida 90 that we're going to see and humid, but it wasn't 56, 65 degrees. It was in the 70s. So it was good to play in some nice weather. So good 2 days for us.
With Cole, what did you see different from him tonight than when he came out for you last week?
Well, he threw his fastball for a strike a little better. And, he threw some really good breaking balls, and he threw some that didn't break a whole lot. But he was able to, the 2 times really he was behind, he got back into the count and ended up getting a ground ball or strikeout or whatever. But I don't know, I don't know if he got a ground ball. I think he got 6 Ks, didn't he? So just – I don't know. Growing up, confidence. It's just the way it is when you pitch and you're young. It's the way you sometimes when you're older too. It's just go out and hit spots and let the ball move. Don't overthrow. I mean, I could use all the lingo, but more than anything, I saw a guy out there that was just really confident.
And with Brent, you mentioned his defense, and I know you mentioned his batting practices have been better too. What have you seen different from him over the last 4 games than what was going wrong for him before?
Yeah, a little more bat speed. Trying to pull the ball a little bit more. But he did let a curveball get deep yesterday and hammered into that net. Today, he hit the first pitch right through the shift hard. I guess just the swing just seems better. It seems a little more powerful. It's not as uphill. And I don't know. Sometimes you just go through a little bit of a period or things don't work out for you, and you start pressing. You try to change things in the middle of at-bats. And even his last at bat when he popped up, I thought he took a really good swing, just missed it. So as long as the timing's good, you're not going to square it up every time. But I just see kind of getting back to where he was a month ago.
Brent also had 2 walks tonight and, hasn't quite had, those free passes in recent weeks. I mean, is that something that comes when a guy gets out of a slump, or like a chicken and the egg? Is that maybe something that could have gotten him out of it earlier?
Yeah, usually if you're taking your walks, that means you're not swinging at borderline bad pitches. Maybe you're getting ahead of the count, so then you're a little more picky. I mean, it all adds up. Walks are good. Walks is on base and gets pitchers' pitch counts up, and he's got a good eye, one of the best eyes on the team. So I would say that's just all part of him coming around.
Bybee has been so good for a long time, for weeks now. I mean, have you noticed maybe a different person mindset-wise this season, like confidence or just focus? I mean, what's kind of been there?
Yeah, I think 100% on the confidence. He's, I forget where he was. I guess it was Vanderbilt, and when he came in and pitched there, and I think that he realized, hey, I'm pretty good, and I can pitch in the SEC, and I can pitch in leverage situations. I'm not just a guy they just put in when things aren't going great, and he's been good ever since. But yeah, I'd say the confidence is number one. His stuff's always been good. It's locating a little bit better as well.
I guess Steele pitches like once every 10 days, pretty common for a freshman, but first time in a real leverage situation. Just how important could that be down the road, and how do you think he did today?
Who's that?
Steele, Eves.
Yeah, he has good stuff. And, we put him in. We only had a 2-run lead at the time, I think, and maybe no lead. I guess it was 0-0 when I'm looking on this. We scored at Did he? Yeah, he ended up getting the win on that. So, yeah, so it was 0-0 when we brought him in. So probably a little more pressure on him than normal. Thought he handled it pretty good. Had the ball sinking a little bit and threw some sliders down. And, the good thing about him, he holds runners pretty well. He fields his position pretty well. You don't worry about that too much. And, the more they go and pitch when, we're not getting blown out or blowing somebody out, they're pitching with a little bit of pressure on them. It gives you confidence more as a coach to put them in.
Then one more thing on Gibbler. His K/9 rate is higher than Hagen's, smaller sample size, but just what kind of, allows this stuff to play up and pick up that many Ks?
Yeah, it's hard to pick up the spin on his breaking ball. Coming out of the hand, it looks like a fastball to the hitters, and it's just really tight. I'd say it probably tunnels the same. If you know what that means, it just means it looks like it's going to be a fastball, then it drops. Now, they see it a little bit. They get used to it, and they figure it out. But, his role has been an inning here or two at the most, and he's been getting a lot of Ks, in his inning or two. So it's hard to really pick up his off-speed stuff. And he's got a good fastball.
We were scratching our head over the Frazier bunt with the bases loaded.
You know what? I was right there with you. So that's, we didn't call it. And that's called trying to do too much. And, you got a 1-0 count. You got some power. Might hit a double or a homer right there. If you are going to bunt right there, don't let the pitcher field it. But, no, that was a mistake, obviously.
Florida was so well regarded to start the year, and they're playing better. What do you think of going down there and facing those guys?
Yeah, it's going to be a major challenge. I mean, it's one of the games before the season started. We were like, wow, this stretch is going to be amazing. And it starts, going to Georgia week 5 and then coming home playing A&M. Now, you think A&M's struggled a little bit, and they have, but they've been playing really well the last 3 weeks. And then now you look at Florida, they'd won 7 or 8 in a row until they lost on Sunday to Mississippi State. They had already won the series. They ruled somebody last night. And, so we're getting exactly what we thought we were going to get before the season started, a really talented team with good arms and a lot of offense. And, it's, we know what we're going into and see if we can handle it.
Do you keep the rotation the same?
Yeah, it'll probably be the same.
With Gage, from from our seat, it looks a little bit like the Brady Tygart plan. Is that a fair comparison? What you're doing with him?
Probably a little bit. He just got to pitch his way back to a pitch count. We're just still bringing him along. I mean, his stuff the other day was great, but he threw 1 pitch for a strike, so they just sat on it, and that hurt him a little bit. He's got a good off-speed stuff, so he's got to land that this weekend, and I'm excited to get our guys healthy, and we just gotta keep plugging away until we get our whole staff back, which would be nice to get Coyle back and engage, slowly building up to maybe 40 pitches, I would think, somewhere in there, and a little more the next week, and a little more the next week, and then he's good to go.
Whether it be Gage or Hunter Dietz didn't throw tonight, when you bring a guy back after he's been out for a long time, is it important to you not to bring him into a higher stress situation?
Well, it depends on who it is, and what they're all about and what they've already experienced. If it's a starter, you don't want to bring him in a relief role. You want them to start an inning fresh, even if they don't start the game. But yeah, I think that's it just depends on who the individual is.
Listening to you on the pregame radio show yesterday, you talked about wanting your team to kind of embrace this tough stretch. I mean, is that something maybe you've verbalized with them? Because you've talked about how mature this group is and you haven't maybe had to deliver that message. But is that something recently you've had to talk to them about, embracing this difficult stretch you're about to go on?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way that's the way you should handle it. First off, feel like you're playing Division I college baseball in the Southeastern Conference. That's the way I look at it. And these are the kind of teams that you got to find a way to beat if you want to get to the College World Series. So you play these guys down the stretch. And I made the comment tonight when I think I was on TV, but the whole just playing in the league gets you ready for the end of the season. But what we're trying to do is get everybody healthy And I told him, yeah, you got to embrace it. When the computer spit out the schedule, and that's who we get to play the last 6 series. We were going, whoa, baby, that's a pretty good run there. You never know how it's going to go. The other teams might be really good as well, but I just told our team, that you just need to feel like it was a blessing that we get to play these people and win as many as you can, and we're not going to get all uptight about it. Just keep plugging away and try to be right at the end of the year.
Frazier at second base, he had the shoulder going on in the preseason. What kind of growth have you seen from him there?
Well, he slowed down a lot mentally, out there. You saw that come and get a play. That was a play that he used to try to just throw under his arm. Instead, he clears, and he's been listening to me, I guess, because I work with him defensively, and just take care of the ball. Don't try to do anything crazy. You're really talented, but if you don't have a play, don't try to make the play. And I think the more he plays, the more confident he's going to get. I mean, that was a really good play on that backhand. Then he slips on that wet ryegrass out there, and he didn't panic. Gathered himself, flipped it over there. That was it showed a little arm strength there. So, he's played mostly shortstop his whole life, and move over to second, it's different. You got guys sliding and coming at you on the double play. You got to have some footwork there, and he's learned how to do that and worked hard at that. And he's got good range. He can steal a base, and I thought he had a really good 2 days here.
And you alluded to something yesterday about the difference in the rest A&M had before last weekend and what your team had. And do you think that the conference could go in and should they go in and look at that where they don't have a team coming off a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and another team coming off the other with travel?
Yeah, I mean, it probably could, it should, but, I just don't know if they can work that out, honestly. We're the ones that said we're home on Easter. So if we don't want to play on Easter, then it's our call, my call, everybody's call, and then we get a hold of who we play that weekend and say, you guys are good playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And they were, obviously. I would be too. And the thing is, I didn't know they played Thursday, Friday, Saturday the week before. So he's probably like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. I don't even know if we knew by then, honestly, thinking back on it. It's a TV thing, and we don't get that until late. We don't know when we're playing on Thursday night, so for a while. So I'd have to really look into that, to be honest with you.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the home stretch for NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the number one online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.